Ready. Play.
Did Sinner win it or did Djokovic lose it, Steve?
I think it was more that Djokovic lost it, frankly. I mean, and it's not fair you can't be critical of Sinner in any way because he played superbly from start to finish. So it's not a knock on him. But those first two sets that Djokovic lost 6-1, 6-2 were about as abysmally as I've seen him play ever in a big match, certainly over the last 10 years or 15 years even. And he said it himself. He thought it was maybe the worst Grand Slam match he could remember himself. And yet he did laud Sinner for the level of his game and how well he was striking the ball and the precision of his serve. I mean, there were a lot of things that Jannik did beautifully, but that the Djokovic that we were watching over the first two sets that he lost 1 and 2, where he got broken 4 times and never came near to breaking Sinner, was just it. I mean, yes, he had struggled throughout the tournament in various matches. He'd lost 3 sets. He dropped a set to Fritz, but it was nothing like this. He just could not find his range off the ground. He couldn't find a way to extend the rallies and get into some kind of rhythmic state, and where he could test Sinner, where he could make that. Finally happened a bit later in the 3rd set, but that was too late. I don't think he had it in him, feeling the way he did after all the wear and tear of the tournament, to feel like he was going to have a miraculous comeback from 2 sets to love in him. So what I'm basically saying is I think he spotted Sinner those first 2 sets. He didn't challenge him those first 2 sets, and Sinner exploited it to the hilt. Then we saw in the 3rd, John, that Novak made his move. He was down break point early. That set, it could have ended up being a 1, 2, and 4 obliteration, but he saved himself and then started serving quite well the rest of the set. And in the process, started to extend some of the rallies. We saw some 14, 18, 20-stroke rallies, more Djokovic-like. And finally, Sinner did start to miss a bit because he was being extended in the rallies, which didn't happen early. I think Novak had no patience earlier. So, and then, of course, the tie break, where Novak saved a match point. It was a very good forceful forehand return from Sinner, but Novak fended it off and then managed to coax an error off of the Sinner forehand, and then he pulled the tie break out. Did a little fist pump, but again, even that was not the typical animated Novak. He was so subdued the entire time. It was as if somehow in the back of his mind, he thought everything had caught up to him and he just didn't have it in him. The spark was missing.